The power of myth. For many years, May was concerned with the powerful effects of myths on individuals and cultures, a concern that culminated in his book The Cry for Myth. May contended that the people of Western civilization have an urgent need for myths. Lacking myths to believe in, they have turned to religious cults, drug addiction, and popular culture in a vain effort to find meaning in their lives. Myths are not falsehoods, rather, they are conscious and unconscious belief systems that provide explanations for personal and social problems. May compared myths to the support beams in a house, not visible from the outside, but they hold the house together and make it habitable. From earliest times and in diverse civilizations, people have found meaning in their lives by the myths they share with others in their culture. Myths are the stories that unify a society. They are essential to the process of keeping our souls alive and bringing us new meaning in a difficult and often meaningless world. May believed that people communicate with one another on two levels. The first is rationalistic language, and on this level, truth takes precedence over the people who are communicating. The second is through myths, and on this level, the total human experience is more important than the empirical accuracy of the communication. People use myths and symbols to transcend the immediate concrete situation, to expand self-awareness, and to search for identity. May believed that the Oedipus story is a powerful myth in our culture because it contains elements of existential crises common to everyone. These crises include 1. Birth, 2. Separation or exile from parents and home, 3. Sexual union with one parent and hostility toward the other, 4. The assertion of independence and the search for identity, and 5. Death. The Oedipus myth has meaning for people because it deals with each of these 5 crises. Like Oedipus, people are removed from their mother and father and are driven by the need for self-knowledge. People's struggle for self-identity, however, is not easy, and it may even result in tragedy, as it did for Oedipus when he insisted on knowing the truth about his origins. After being told that he had killed his father and married his mother, Oedipus put out his eyes, depriving himself of the ability to see, that is, to be aware, to be conscious. But the Oedipus narration does not end with denial of consciousness. At this point in Sophocles' trilogy, Oedipus once again is exiled, an experience May saw as symbolic of people's own isolation and ostracism. As an old man, Oedipus is seen contemplating his tragic suffering and accepting responsibility for killing his father and marrying his mother. His meditations during old age bring him peace and understanding and the ability to accept death with grace. The central themes of Oedipus's life: birth, exile and separation, identity, incest and patricide, repression of guilt, and finally, conscious meditation and death touch everyone and make this myth a potentially powerful healing force in people's lives. May's concept of myths is comparable to Carl Jung's idea of a collective unconscious in that myths are archetypal patterns in the human experience. They are avenues to universal images that lie beyond individual experience. And like archetypes, myths can contribute to psychological growth if people will embrace them and allow them to open up a new reality. Tragically, many people deny their universal myths and thus risk alienation, apathy, and emptiness, the principal ingredients of psychopathology.